Hello and welcome to Mastery Tutoring. On this video we're going to be doing question 3 of 2017 Department of Basic Education final exam question paper. We're given the following information. In the diagram, A, B and C are points in the Cartesian plane. F and G are points on line AC such that AF is equals to FG. E is the intercept of AB. Yeah, so as you can see the diagram there, that is the information that we have. We are given the coordinates of B, which is -6 and -5. And then we're also given the coordinates of C, which is 8 and -4. The coordinates of F, which is 3 and 3.5. We're also given the coordinates of E, but then in this case actually we're only given the Y coordinate. They didn't give us the X coordinate. So now E, the coordinate is going to be, let me just say X and 0. Now the reason why I'm saying 0 is because point E is at a point where the x-intercept and the x-axis and AB intersect. So this is going to be 0 because Y is 0 at this point. This point E is along the x-axis. Now question 3.1, it says calculate the equation of AC in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. So the form y is equals to mx plus c, it's an equation of a straight line. So now we need to go right ahead and do it. But then with an equation of a straight line, you need to have the slope. So the equation of line AC is going to be calculated in this way. Y is equals to y1. Now this I'm going to call it y at c because we're given the coordinates at c minus m ac into x minus x at c. So now obviously, as you can see on the diagram, we need to determine the slope. Now what is the slope? So the slope is given by, m ac is given by y at c minus y at f over y at c minus y at f, x at f. So look, the reason why I'm not using coordinates of A, I'm using coordinates of of f, is because we're not given the coordinates of A, so therefore I can't use it. But then as you can see, point F on the diagram is along the line AC, therefore I can use it. I can use any points. Even if I had the coordinates of G, I would definitely use them. My answer would still be correct. So now we're going to go right ahead and substitute the values here. So now y at c is -4, then minus, and then y at f is 7 over 2. So or 3.5 as it is given to us. So now this is going to be divided by the x at c is 8, and then we're going to say minus, and the x at f is going to be 3. Therefore, the slope at AC is going to be -3 over 2. That is the slope at AC. So now we can go right ahead and substitute all the information that we have in that equation there. So y at c is going to be, in fact, you know what? Let me take this y at c to the other side, first of all. So I'm going to make y the subject of the formula. So I have m ac x minus xc plus y at c. Now I'm going to go ahead and substitute the information that is given to us and the ones that we've calculated. So MAC is -3 over 2 bracket x minus x at c is 8. So I'm going to say 8 plus open bracket. Now y at c is -4. It's going to be -4. And therefore the equation, it becomes -3 over 2x plus 12 minus 4, which eventually becomes -3 over 2x plus 8. Now this is the equation of line AC. Now right now we're going to go and do 3.1.2. So on the diagram, we can see that the line AC intersect with line BG. So now at the point of intersection, we can equate the two equations that we have here to find the equation of, to find the coordinates of G. So we know we are given that equation of BG is 7x minus 10y, which is equals to 8. And now we can name this one equation 1. And therefore we also know this equation here. Y is equals to negative 3 over 2x plus 8, which is the equation of AC. We can use it here. So this is going to be y is equals to negative 3 over 2x plus 8. At the point of intersection, so suppose it's something like this. So at this point, this is G, this is B, this is A, C. At this point of intersection, these two equations are equal. So this is my equation 2. Now we can go right ahead and equate and substitute now. Substitute equation 2 into equation 3. So you substitute 2 into 3. Excuse me, to 1. So where there's y, we're going to substitute negative 3 over 2x plus 8. So 7x from equation 1 now, 7x minus 10. Now instead of writing y, we're going to write this 3 over 2 x 8 is equal to 8 there. And then we're going to solve for x now. So this becomes 7x minus 15x minus 80 is equals to 8. So now 22x is equals to, we take this one to the other side, becomes 88. Therefore x is equals to 4. So this is our x coordinate. We can go back to equation 2 and substitute 4 where there's y. So from y is equals to negative 3 over 2, 4 plus 8, which gives us 2. Now we have calculated or determined the coordinates of G, which is 4 and 2. Okay, now we're going to move to question 3.2. It says, show by calculation that the coordinates of A is 2 is to 5. Look on the diagram here. Can you see that line AF is equals to FG. So therefore, F is the midpoint of AG. So therefore, if we were to use the midpoint formula to find the coordinates of A, it would include the coordinates of, if we were to use the midpoint formula to find the coordinates of A, in the calculation, we would include the coordinates of A as well. So we can do reverse calculations to find the coordinates of A. Now, that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to solve this question here. Point of AG is equals to 3 is to 7 over 2, which is the coordinates of F. Now the coordinates at the midpoint now, the x coordinate would be calculated this way. Gives us the coordinates at F, right? And then we're going to go ahead and substitute the coordinates of G and the coordinate of x as we know them. X at A plus 4 over 2, 3. Now this whole thing gives us x at A to be equals to 6 minus 4, which is 2. X at A. Now when you calculate y at A, we use the same approach. So y at A is equals to 5. Now the coordinates of A is 2, 5, which is the same as what they've asked us to prove. So we've proven it. Now we're going to move to 3.3, question 3.3. So question 3.3, it says prove that line EF is parallel to line BG. So this is how we're going to do this, right? Firstly, we're going to find the midpoint of line AB. So let us do that for now. This is the formula that we're going to use. Now we're going to do the substitution now. We do have the coordinates of A, which we've just calculated now. And then also we do have the coordinates of B, which are given to us. So let's go ahead and substitute this. So x at A is going to be 2 plus x at B is going to be minus 6 all over 2. And then now y at A is going to be 5 plus, and then y at B is going to be minus 5 all over 2. And then now this is going to give us negative 2 for the coordinate of x and then 0 for the coordinate of y. Now when you come and look for this point, negative 2 and 0 along line AB, it means it is point E there. Because our y at that point, so it's at the point where the x-axis intersects the line AB. So therefore this becomes our coordinates of E. So coordinates of E is the midpoint of AB. So E being the midpoint of AB, what have we learned from Euclidean geometry about the lines that are parallel? So let me just remind you quickly from Euclidean geometry. From the midpoint theorem, we've learned that if you have a triangle ABC, for example, and then there's a line that joins at midpoints, at their midpoint. So let me call this D and E. So let's assume that point D is the midpoint of AB and point E is the midpoint of AC. Because now this line joins at the midpoint, this line, it is parallel to DE is parallel to BE. That is according to the point theorem. So we're going to apply the same thing on this diagram here. Because this is the midpoint of AB, and then point F is the midpoint of AG, it means that these two lines are parallel. So we can make that conclusion that, okay, lines are parallel. So now to put it in writing, let me just say E is the midpoint and F AF. Therefore, so EF is parallel to BG according to the midpoint theorem. I think this answer, it's good enough, for this one. But remember, there's alternative ways of solving questions. So there are different ways that I could have solved this, but then I've chosen this one. If maybe you want to know how I could have solved this question and using another method, leave a comment here, and then I'll definitely make sure that I perhaps, if I can get enough comments, perhaps I'll create a video on the alternate way of solving this question. Now we're moving to question 3.4. So 3.4, it says ABCD is a parallelogram with D in the first quadrant. Calculate the coordinates of D. So I want us to estimate the position of D, since it has been we've been informed that it's in the first quadrant. So I'm just going to estimate that D is going to be at that point. So I'm going to call that D, and then I'm going to join these lines like that to make it a parallelogram. And then what do we know about parallelogram? Rather, let me make this solid lines. So we know about parallelogram. I feel like this is untidy. So we know about parallelogram that this, so there will be another line there, is parallel to that line, and this one is parallel to this line. So this is what we know about parallelogram, right? So what we're going to do here, we're going to find the slope of BC. The slope of BC should be the same as the slope of AD, and then we're also going to go and find the slope of AB, which should be the same as the slope of DC. After doing that, we're going to find the equations of this line and that line. And at this point where they intersect, the two equations are equal. Therefore, we're going to solve simultaneous equation to find the coordinates of D. All right. So the first thing that we do here is to solve to find the slope of BC. So MBC is given by now we're going to go ahead and substitute. So the y coordinate at B is -5, and the y coordinate at C is -4. X coordinate at B is -6, and x coordinate at C is 8. The slope becomes just 1/14. This is our slope. Now let's go ahead and calculate the slope for line AD. But remember what I said, AD is parallel to BC, therefore they have equal slopes. So MB is equals to M, which is 1/14. Now we're going to go ahead and calculate the equation of line AD. Line AD is equals to y at A minus . We know the coordinates of A, we know the slope MAD, and we're looking for the coordinates of D. Therefore, we are able to calculate, or to determine rather, the equation of YAD. So the equation of YAD is equals to the slope is 1 over 14. Then now x at A is 2 plus y at A is 5. Now this is my equation at for line AD. So let me call this equation 1. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing, but then for the other line, we're gonna find the equation, the slope of line AB. Y at A is 5 minus y at B is minus 5. And then x at A is 2 minus x at B is minus minus 6. Confirm something on this diagram here. Right. MAB is given by is equals to negative 5 over 4. Oh, excuse me, 5 over 4, positive 5 over 4. As I've already mentioned that MDC is equals to MAB, which is equals to 5 over. Now we're going to go ahead and determine the equation of DC. So this is the equation that we're going to use. So I've already manipulated this equation, because I've been manipulating this equation since when we calculated the first equation, so I feel like you already know how to go about it. So we can just jump in and substitute here. So y dc is equals to, the slope is 5 over 4, x minus x at c is equals to 8. And then y at c is minus 4. Y dc is given by 5 over 4x minus 14. So this is the equation of line DC. Now, as I've already mentioned, at point D, the two lines intersect. Therefore, they are equal. So y equation of AD is equals to equation of DC. So now when I substitute the equations now, this is what I'm going to have. Now when you solve this, you get an x that is equal to 16. When you substitute, now we need to substitute this one now back to, so we're going to substitute this one in one of the equations. So I'm going to use equation for line DC. Now here I'm going to put x. X is 16, so this is going to be 16 minus 14. Therefore y is equals to 6. So now we've got the coordinates of D to be 16 and 6. So these are the coordinates, and I've been done solving this question. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you have any question, please leave a comment. For those who are new to our channel, please subscribe to this channel, and also share with your friends, your school friends, your cousins, and all your social media platforms. That would include your Facebook groups and your WhatsApp groups. Goodbye.